If I had to come back to be a draft excluder, it would demoralise me.
But you would get chosen because those early days of your England career, they're not going to use a Sean Wright-Phillips in that role, are they?
Set piece wise, people lying down under the wall. Can we get into this? Because
draft excluder, aren't
it feels so like I'm not a fan of it.
I reckon I've seen 2 goals go under the wall cleverly in my life. So I just don't see the need for it now. Really. I always think if you stand tall, then the keeper should do his job, and it's difficult for the taker. If you jump, you've got more chance of the wall breaking, people turning their backs. It gives you an excuse to sort of turn your backs. If you stand tall, you can't move. That's the best way to defend a direct free kick.
Do you think you're more useful to a team vertically or horizontally?
Well, I am a better weapon horizontally now.
Yeah.
So you could be like in hockey, they will bring on a specific player for a penalty corner. So Crouchy, that could be your route back into top flight football. I suppose the issue is you almost have to lie with your back to the wall, don't you? Because you can't get your hands in a
so weird,
natural
mate.
position.
It's like it's so weird. The poor player. It's like paint me like one of your French girls sort of pose, isn't it?
Degrading, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is degrading. Like you're lying down on your back to play, and the best you can hope for from your job is the ball hits you on the back.
And you've had nothing to do with it.
How's that role chosen?
Just the longest person?
The longest person. Do you reckon?
Yeah, they can't smile, can they? Like, because it's a really serious job. But the pose that they're in, because they're having to face ordinarily, and I don't think this has happened so much because of the pandemic, but at some point there's going to be a stand full of people that they're staring at, and they won't be able to avoid it, right? And they'll be lying down on the ground. Are you worried that if you were still playing, this would be you?
100%, that'd be me. I used to hate it. I used to hate coming back for corners. If I had to come back to be a draft excluder, it would demoralise me.
But you would get chosen because those early days of your England career, they're not going to use a Sean Wright-Phillips in that role, are they?
I'd be perfect, wouldn't I? I'd be absolutely perfect.
You'd be hilarious, mate. Imagine your face. Like, you'd be giving a wink to the crowd and everything. Like, you'd make such a good job of it.
That would be me. Like, I'd be like there'd be like my body would cover the wall and my legs would just be like fouling people.
You might actually be too long, yeah. You'd be too long to do the job.
I think you're right. He's too long for the wall because imagine his head stuck round the side as well.
You know,
so like he's having his head and his feet on either side of the wall. It would look ridiculous.
Do you know what happened as well? People would go over my feet whilst I've got my back to play. Someone like, Harry Kane would run in and go over my feet and go down and get a pen.
Do you know what? The thing is as well, that would be a penalty as well, wouldn't it? If you've left a leg
out. Pen. I've left a leg out, haven't I?
It's literally a trailing leg.
Left the trailing leg. but I'm facing the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper would have to talk to me at all times about, hey, lift it up.
It'll be a bit like when Tower Bridge has to raise to let a big ship through. There'd be a moment where Crouchy's legs would be down and then he'd have to do the Tower Bridge at pace to get them out the way of an onrushing Kane.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.